How far would you go to be the best, the number one in your industry? You've got to be willing to put everything on the line. And today's story is about a man who did just that. A man with dreams to be the number one bouncy castle business. He wanted to be the jumping castle god. But unfortunately, he flew a little too close to the sun and his wings burned up. Well, not really his wings. He just burned up every business that also sold jumping castles. He committed a series of arson attacks on rival bouncy castle businesses. His name is James Balcom, and he looks like a silly character you'd make with the Dark Souls character creator. He's currently serving an 11-year sentence for all of this, and I just found the whole story so wild. I legitimately feel bad for all of the rival businesses because a few of them lost their entire business to his arson attacks. So there were very real victims and very real trauma from it, from having their literal place of work be lit on fire and fucking incinerated by this madman, this lunatic. So I wanted to go over this story here because it's a weird one. Did you see the video on Melbourne's bouncy castle king that was jailed over a string of fire attacks on his rival bouncy castle businesses? Oh my god, what? Anderson threw a Molotov cocktail through a smashed window at a business, causing a huge blaze that engulfed the factory and destroyed 110 jumping castles. And it looks like he's going to jail. And it looks like he's done quite a few of these. This is very interesting. This happened last month. You've been holding out on me? Why didn't you tell me about this? Jumping castle operator jailed over arson attacks on Melbourne rivals. James Balcom set on destroying rival businesses that if one fire caused minor damage, he commissioned another. Wow. He desired to be the number one in Melbourne's jumping castle game, and had seen him jailed for up to 11 years over a series of arson attacks. What a crazy thing to commit your life to, being the number one jumping castle guy. The whole bouncing castle cartel. It's so weird. It seems like most often the most unhinged business people are the ones in like the children's entertainment center or sphere. Like the bouncy castle guys running like an arson unit to take out competitors. Surprised this isn't from Florida. Fucking true. Amen. I am almost disappointed it's not from Florida, if I'm being honest. The County Court of Victoria heard that Balcom, whose company Awesome Party Hire was ranked number one on Google after he commissioned the attacks on rival businesses, was arrested after he ordered that his own shed be torched. Galaxy Brain covering his tracks. No, I'm not the one behind the arson attacks. Look, someone lit my empty shed on fire last night. We have to put a stop to fucking Firefly ASAP. Please, God, anyone, the Human Torch has gone loose. He's rogue. Only way to stay on top. I would argue the only way to stay on top is to legitimately be the best jumping castle business as opposed to the only one that's not lit on fire. For example, let's say I'm in the market for getting some bouncy castles and I really want high quality product. I'm checking Google and Awesome Party Hire's number one. But then I scroll down and it says like all of the ones underneath it are literally cremated. I'd be like, this is fishy. I'll just get a bigger birthday cake. Fuck the castle. I feel like there'd just be like a very big red flag if that is the only jumping castle business that's left standing. 3 days after a March 2017 fire, Anderson was arrested and subsequently named Balcom as the instigator of the blaze and the attacks on rival businesses. Oh, so this has been going on for a while. Balcom, 58, appeared on Thursday by video link from prison in the county court where he was jailed for up to 11 years. Balcom has already served 2 years and 5 months and will be eligible for parole after 7 years and 10 months. Damn. They got him. I really am imagining like a Godfather situation. Like, it really seems so fucking intense in the bouncy castle game. You come to me on the eve of my daughter's birthday party and light my bouncy castle business on fire. You got some nerve. It's a dirty game in a cruel world. Yeah. It's not easy to put a smile on the face of children. It comes at a cost. And that cost is fire and flames. They're bouncing on the backs of the corpses of other bouncy castle businesses that came before them, and they don't even know it. It impacted the livelihood of others and caused significant loss, suffering, and emotional trauma. Yeah, I mean, yeah, arson will do that to you. One business was targeted 3 times. At that point, just hire full-time firefighters on standby. That is so interesting. What does he look like? I want to look him up. Oh, wow. This... I imagine you also got an image in your head of some, like, lunatic-looking guy. I'm just going to tell you right now, he looks exactly like the image you have in your head. This looks like an AI-generated arsonist. What the fuck? It's always the people you least expect, I suppose. Jesus. Why is his head so pointed? I don't know, man. I didn't create him in the Street Fighter 6 character creator. I have no idea. I didn't work on these sliders. He got done dirty, though, I'll tell you that much. God, this is so powerful. You became very successful in the jumping castle industry, but you also became completely fixated and obsessed with it. It consumed your every waking moment, Court Judge Stuart Bales told Balcom. You became the Dark Knight. You fell right into the Joker's palms. You're better than this, James. Gotham deserved more. Is that a mugshot? Yeah, he's already served 2 years of his sentence. So this must have been when they brought him in. They probably had to drag him kicking and screaming out of his bouncy castle. 110 jumping castles ignited and lost in an instant. Jesus, they lost their entire business from that. I just learned about something extraordinary. A situation from 1997 that somehow I was unaware of. And I look back at my life of 5 hours ago in disgust that I could be so ignorant to not know about this. I watched a video covering this and then watched the raw footage of the situation, and I'm confident this is footage I will never forget. The Men in Black couldn't neuralize this information out of my brain. A YouTuber named Sir W made a video about a guy wielding a sword holding off 50 cops. And on stream the other night, chat told me about it, and it piqued my interest, but I didn't watch it until today. And since finishing that video, I've embarked on a personal quest to learn everything there is to know about the Seattle samurai, Tony Allison. Unfortunately, all the information has been lost to time, or perhaps it's a little more dubious than that, maybe a government cover-up to keep it under wraps because he was too powerful with the katana. I don't really know, but unfortunately, I don't have many results to showcase for my hours worth of trying to deep dive. But I still wanted to talk about this story and show you Sir W's video, as well as the raw footage of the police standoff with the Seattle samurai.
With nothing but sunglasses and a samurai sword to his name, this man held off an army of police officers for 11 hours and just stood there. His name is Tony Allison, but on this day, he insisted that everybody, including the police, refer to him as Apollo, and it all started with him doing nothing. Yeah.
April 3rd, 1997, a date that Seattle still bears the scars from. A date that is etched into the tablets of time, never to be forgotten. Except by pretty much everybody, it seems. Sir W, the YouTuber here, even mentions how surprised he was that no one else had covered this story, and I am equally as surprised now after having learned it. It is outrageous. So, it was just a normal, peaceful afternoon in Seattle, and then we witnessed the birth of the last true samurai, Tony Allison, who was walking around brandishing his trusty blade, and some of the civilians were a bit disturbed by it, weirded out. You know, why is he walking around with a sword? Eventually an off-duty officer followed him around because he found it to be odd as well.
Now, Apollo was suspicious of this guy following him, and rightfully so. I would be as well. So he took what the cop describes as a defensive stance with his sword at the ready, which is understandable in a defense situation like this one. But sadly, that was enough for the off-duty cop to call his buddies, and they would remain in that same location for the next 11 hours.
As quite a few of the YouTube comments point out, this entire situation is the very definition of He's just standing there menacingly. At no point does Apollo ever use his blade. He doesn't swing it. He doesn't get aggressive or show any signs of trying to draw blood. He's not trying to carve flesh from bone or anything. He's keeping his Bushido arts under wrap. He doesn't unleash his Bankai or anything. He just sits there wielding the blade for 11 fucking hours. And he is striking some mean power stances. Like, he is looking like an anime character. It looks like a video game idle animation from a lot of the footage I've seen here. For 11 hours, as like 50 officers surround him and try and talk with him. Now, his name is Tony Allison, but he wanted to be called Apollo. He didn't really communicate with the authorities, aside from a couple of sentences that he said that were apparently pretty cryptic, but one of the things that he requested was that they refer to him as Apollo, which is a pretty badass name. Almost as badass as Gamer Sups, the best beverage ever invented. We all know this. Everyone in the world knows Gamer Sups is the best fluid that has ever graced this planet. And I'm happy to announce their newest product, Gamer Soups, which is just good ramen. For the last month or so, all 8 of us at the warehouse have eaten this for breakfast and lunch pretty much every day, so I can confirm that full-grown adults can survive on a diet consisting solely of Gamer Soups. It's really just that simple. No misleading marketing mumbo-jumbo about this being some super healthy alternative turbo food that's going to be better for your body than broccoli or anything. It's just good fucking ramen. So Gamer Soups is live right now. I'll put a link to everything in the description. You can follow their Twitter, follow their Instagram, or get yourself some Gamer Soup of your own. Big thanks to them for sponsoring.
Seattle, Washington. An explosive standoff begins when a man brandishes a samurai sword on a downtown sidewalk. A friend of the man confirms authorities' worst fears.
Yeah, he knows how to use the sword.
Everyone's worst nightmare has just come true. Just like Roronoa Zoro, it turns out Tony Allison is aiming to be the best swordsman in the world, I guess. I don't know, they said that this guy is a friend of Tony's and that apparently he knows how to use the blade. I don't know if he's necessarily an expert or anything on the matter, or if Tony, does, performances with the sword or something. I don't know how he would know. I feel like if you're studying the blade, you're not exactly showcasing your abilities to others. You want to keep it a secret in case shit gets hairy, right? You don't want to reveal your techniques to a potential opponents. So I feel like when he was interviewed and asked, does he know how to use the sword? He's like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm sure he does, probably. And to be fair, I feel like if you have a sword, it's kind of intuitive. You swing it a lot, and maybe you thrust and stab it a bit.
Everybody on!
Police quickly cordon off the block.
Everybody on the curb! Over there!
A SWAT team arrives and surrounds the man. They begin talking to the suspect, trying to persuade him to drop his weapon.
They got the whole force out here like they're trying to apprehend Cobra Commander. I'm assuming there was no other crime going on in Seattle because they got the entire department to come down here for a fucking field trip. Maybe crime stood still, for this entire day, just watching the Seattle Samurais standoff. I don't really know. But it's a huge response. And they're trying to talk to him, but like I said, he wasn't in a very talkative mood, aside from letting them know that he wants to be called Apollo. Now, according to Sir W's video, they tried to bribe him. I'll go ahead and play this section for you.
Got there, apparently they tried to bribe the samurai sword out of his hand with a glorious sum of $50. I want you to take one look at this guy and guess how he responded. However, the police did not give up here. Nah, they went back to the drawing board and came up with another offer. No, I can't make this. Offered him a Big Mac. No, I'm serious. This is real. They offered him McDonald's. This is targeted. Then they assumed since he was unmoved by this, he must have a mental health history. So they tried triggering schizophrenic urges. Of course, he was unmoved by these childish tricks and continued to stand his ground. So
now, from all the research I've done, and keep in mind, there's only so much available. I guess a lot of information may have been lost in the Library of Alexandria on this case. God only knows where all of this has vanished. I feel like this is something that media would have loved to do a little more digging on, but perhaps not. From everything I was able to cobble together, I can find no official sources from the old newspapers or old articles written about it that confirm whether or not they tried to bribe him with $50 and a Big Mac. Sir W mentioned two of his main sources, and this information appears on this one, where it says that they offered him $50 for his sword, he ignored their bribe, they tempted him with a Big Mac, he held fast. But this site was making a joke out of the situation, like this post is clearly just playing around with it. It's not like 100% serious, though the situation is real. This isn't just like a factual, play-by-play of what was really going on, so I feel like there's potential that this was just slid in here as a joke. Just a little bit of baloney, some fucking dirty barnacles to spice it up and make it a little wackier and not real, because this appears nowhere else. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, it's potential that they did try that. Just to me, it sounds a little far-fetched and unbelievable. I just can't imagine one of them going on the horn being like, "Hey, bud, drop the sword and we'll give you $50 and this Big Mac that Bill was going to give to his kids after the shift today." Like, it just doesn't seem like something they'd really try. But who knows? Again, this whole thing is already ridiculous, so it's possible.
He also said that he was possessed by demons and wanted to kill them.
He talked about Satan. He talked about his brothers in Russia and China, but he never really engaged the negotiator.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead here. It turns out that Tony Allison suffered from schizophrenia and manic depression and had previously spent 10 years in a mental hospital and even had a previous criminal charge of second-degree assault with intent to rape. So he's not exactly in his right mind, as you might imagine based on what you're seeing here.
But the suspect is unresponsive.
Never once did this individual talk to us. On occasion, he would shout out some things about Apollo and Satan and things like that, but we never were able to establish any sort of a conversation with him at all.
As Commissioner Gordon states there, they couldn't really communicate with him aside from, again, the mentions of Apollo, and he also talked about his brothers at some point, as well as, like, Satan. So it was very much a mental health crisis moment, which is why I think this lasted so long, because authorities really didn't know how to handle something like this, especially back then. I feel like they were even more in the dark on what to do in a situation like this. So they spent a long time in just a complete standstill for 11 hours, trying to talk to him, trying to get him to drop the sword and reason with him, to no avail. So then they started to brainstorm some more aggressive ideas.
They load their guns with special bean bags that strike with the same impact as a heavyweight boxer's punch. They're designed to halt, but not harm suspects. Unable to convince him to stop, police fire the bean bags. The suspect retreats, but he endures round after round and shows no sign of surrender.
Have you ever seen anyone this resilient?
An immovable force. What a titan. I almost feel bad for the beanbags that struck his body. They probably just fucking exploded on impact, just vaporized. I tell you, the katana he's wielding is not the only thing made out of steel there. His body is also made out of steel, forged just as powerfully as that blade he uses. But he did retreat. He didn't necessarily like getting hit with the beanbags.
As night falls, the man still refuses to relinquish his razor-sharp sword. 8 hours have passed, and police must try to disarm him another way. The man late, but the man shakes off the tear gas with almost superhuman strength, never releasing his weapon.
They tried to tear gas him, which he just shook off with ease. He looks mildly uncomfortable with the tear gas. It actually is like borderline superhuman.
The SWAT team has one final option. Use fire hoses to remove his sword. In a highly orchestrated maneuver, police pin the suspect down with a ladder, pole, and riot shield.
And that's how the last samurai was defeated. An 11-hour stand. As the YouTube comments also pointed out, very few samurai throughout history can ever claim that they held off an army for 11 hours alone on the battlefield. So a very impressive feat. The fire hoses knocked him down, and then they said that they did a textbook maneuver claiming that what they did next was by the books, like really, standard procedure pretty much, where they pinned him with a ladder and a pole and a riot shield. To me, that doesn't really seem like something they practice. That's probably not in any SWAT training textbooks, I would imagine. Of course, I'm not SWAT trained, but that just seemed like they started to improvise. Like when he fell, they're like, all right, what do we got? What do we got? Give me that ladder, grab that broomstick, and then your riot shield, just sit on top of him. All right, go. And then they did, and it happened to work. So after this, he was once again put in another hospital, from what I've read, and he hasn't been seen since. Except Sir W actually did a bit of super sleuthing of his own and may have found evidence that the Seattle Samurai is still out there.
2021, a dad was with his son at Bitter Lake Playfield, and while passing by a homeless encampment, spotted this distinct shiny object sticking out of the debris. Now, the location of this park happens to be about 50 miles away from Western State Hospital, or a mere 8.2 miles away from where this whole thing began.
That's one of those stunning moments in a movie where the audience just goes, like a huge gasp. What a great find from Sir W there, because that does look like the same blade that he was wielding, and it's pretty close to where this standoff happened. And it's also such a cinematic conclusion, it actually looks like the end to a Dark Souls game. After you beat the final boss and the final cutscene's playing, and then it's just like your plus 10 moon veil stuck into the ground there. Like, that's what that whole scene played out like. Now, of course, it's not really a happy ending because it seems, if this really is him, that he is still homeless and must not have gotten the help that he needed, which is extremely sad. Really, the whole situation is very sad, but it's one of those odd things that I can't believe actually happened, and even more peculiar is that nobody has ever really talked about it. So yeah, big thanks to Sir W for shining a light on this story. It was a pretty fascinating one. That's about it. So yeah. Yesterday I learned about an extremely tragic and weird situation involving the mysterious death of a 26-year-old Brazilian YouTuber named Carlos Medeiros. On December 25th, he was reported missing. A big search ensued to try and find him, and eventually one of his childhood friends saw his body poking out through the dirt on a couple's property. Upon digging up the area, they found Carlos Medeiros' corpse. It was buried in a shallow grave on this couple's land. And when asked about why his body was buried there, they said that he had died during a night of cocaine-fueled sex and passed away during an orgasm while fucking the homeowner's sister. Must have been the biggest nut ever busted, because this one sent him to meet his maker, according to their story. Between the drugs and the sex, he had died in their home, and the couple said that they panicked, didn't know what to do, they were afraid to call an ambulance, so they came to the conclusion that it would be best to just bury his body in their yard, which is an unhinged thought process. But obviously, this is a little suspicious. This is one of those smells that smells smelly. It just doesn't make any sense. How could not one but two people, multiple sentient human beings, reach this awful idea? It makes them look extremely guilty if they're truly innocent of no foul play. Why would they think to bury this body instead of just calling authorities to report what happened? It doesn't add up, especially when you consider that they had previously lied about this whole situation. Initially, they said that Carlos Medeiros left their house, and they had no idea where he was, and they had even allegedly made a social media post saying that they've got to find Carlos Medeiros. Come on, let's all find Carlos Medeiros. We gotta get him back, knowing full well they had buried him in their property. So that just, there's something not right there. This is like a plot line out of LA Noire. So it's a really fucking wild story, and there's actually more to it that I went over on stream, so I'm going to play you those clips now. There was a YouTuber who was buried in a backyard. Oh, you're talking about the Brazilian YouTuber, right? Hold on, I'll pull that up in a second, because that was kind of crazy. Let me send a quick text. 26-year-old Brazilian YouTuber found in neighbor's backyard. It was Carlos Medeiros. The body of a 26-year-old Brazilian YouTuber has been found buried in the backyard of some of his neighbors. He was reported missing on Christmas Day after he failed to return home for dinner with friends who later said that he had left their home late at night. Medeiros' family searched hospitals and woods until Saturday. Someone saw a mound of dirt in the house of this couple he had visited for the holidays. They went in and saw my brother's t-shirt showing in the dirt. They called the police, who went there and found him buried. So, here's their defense. The couple who owned the home claim that the influencer died while doing drugs and having sex with Caroline's sister. The couple's version is this. They buried him because they didn't know what to do with the body. That is the most dog shit defense I've ever heard. What do you mean you buried him because you didn't know what to do with the body? You just call the police. That's nobody's first instinct. To bury a body is such an incredible time commitment. Like, there's no way that was just impulsively done. It's not like, alright, just quickly throw him in this fucking, grave we made. This is absolutely seeming like they killed him and tried to hide the body. Poorly, in a shallow grave. Because of the drugs, assuming it wasn't murder. Yeah, well, I don't think they've ran a toxicology report or anything yet. I think it's still too new. But they're saying that he allegedly had an overdose while taking Caroline's sister to have sex in the bathroom. At the moment he was having an orgasm, he felt unwell and fell dead. Which I don't believe for a fucking second. Because, I would believe it if they didn't bury his goddamn body in their garden. Also, if that is how he died, what a crazy way of going out. That is a rock star's death right there. Man's out there fucking boofing meth, all kinds of shit. Making a cocktail of ketamine, all kinds of wild shit. Has sex and dies during an orgasm. What a way to go to Valhalla. Merry fucking Christmas, I guess. I guess so. But I don't believe that story. I really don't. If the report indicates that his death was accidental, the couple will be charged with concealing a corpse. If it is proven that he is murdered, the man and the woman will be charged with homicide. Simple enough. The Post reported that the couple turned themselves in to authorities on Sunday. Now an autopsy will determine the cause of death. However, police said that they found evidence of stab wounds. Strangulation, or gunshots on the body. I think they meant found no evidence. I think that's what they meant to say. Because that reads as though, this is an open and shut case of not being a drug-related death. There was gunshots on the body, but it turned out what actually killed him was the weed he smoked 2 hours earlier. Gunshots were circumstantial, not significant. Or is not a typo. I think this has to be a typo here. I'll go to another source that really feels like a fucking typo. Yeah, let's go to this one. Oh, fuck, it's the Daily Mail. They probably just copy and pasted this article. This one's saying that they're claiming that he took cocaine and had a heart attack while fucking. And they said that they were afraid of calling an ambulance. This is where they found the body. This was the grave they dug for him, I guess. The couple had initially lied and said that Medeiros left their home after dinner before later confessing to a different story. This is baloney! What a load of fucking fish paste! He didn't die from cocaine and sex. I don't believe this for a second. Also, these ads are nuts. These ads are going fucking Insano style. Man. All this inundation with ads will put you in an early grave. Good God, what an eyesore. They also made a social media post asking the public for help finding Medeiros. Shameless. Absolutely shameless. There's no way, there is no sensible couple that would bury a body of someone that just died in their home while having sex with their sister. That's already wild. And there is no way that they would start lying about it and then making social media posts. There's some fishiness afoot. Civil Police Chief Louis Faria told G1 that the incident is being investigated as a homicide committed by an unknown perpetrator. Sounds about right. Okay, yeah, it was a typo. During the search for the firefighters, according to a police report, Medeiros' body did not display any signs of violence. The house was set on fire. What? The house was set on fire by neighbors, but no arrests have been made. What? Wait, what? What is happening in this story? It's like an episode of CSI that just keeps going. So their house got set on fire? Residents in the Brazilian town set fire to the home where the body of the influencer was found buried. Jeepers creepers, Jiminy Christmas! Mob justice. Yeah, that's what it seems like. It reminds me of the second Halloween movie, Evil Dies Tonight. And then they just torched it. Imagine the evidence destroyed in that fire, though. Yeah, it's not a very well thought out plan. Look down, they're only charged with concealing a corpse. Yeah, we already covered that. Well, they will be charged with concealing a corpse if it was accidental, or if it's ruled, like after the autopsy, that he died from a heart attack from cocaine. Then my brain just had one of those, like, record scratch moments where everything just went foggy. Right now, it's just looking at concealing a corpse. If it was accidental and his death was a heart attack from cocaine. But if it turns out they killed him, obviously they're going to be charged with murder. It'd be so much less suspicious if they didn't burn the fucking house. Well, no, the family didn't burn the house. The community did. Assuming that there was foul play afoot here. They hid the body and then lied. And then made a social media post like, where is he? We gotta find him. When he was in their backyard. And they're lying about that too. Oh, interesting. So you're claiming that the couple burnt the house down to hide further evidence. It wasn't the community. Oh, an interesting theory. That seems like a really drastic step to take. When they could have just scrubbed it all with bleach. Yeah, but they did just bury a body in their backyard. Yeah, that is also pretty drastic. True, true. Having your wedding outside should be an actual crime or an unforgivable sin. Every wedding I've been to has been an outside wedding, and it has been truly miserable. And they haven't all been in Florida, you fucking pseudo-intellectuals, alright? I know it's hot in Florida, so obviously it being outside would make it miserable, but I've been to some up north as well, and it's fucking miserable every time outside. So here's a little pro tip, a little life hack, a little 5-minute craft for anyone planning a wedding right now. Do all of your friends and family a favor and don't have it outside, you goddamn selfish asshole. Outside weddings fucking suck. Just think about it. It's fucking sunny out. It's shining in their eyes. It's hot out. And if it's not sunny out, it's cloudy. That's not romantic. That's not cool. It looks like it's a bad omen for your marriage. What is the benefit to having it outside? You feel me? Don't do it. Just don't do it. Let's go ahead and check out this new video from a outside wedding where a man faints and pisses his pants. Not to spoil anything for what's about to happen. It's a very interesting video that I think really puts in a nutshell the outside wedding experience. A beautiful ballad indeed. If I was an America's Got Talent judge, they'd be going right to Vegas if it was up to me. Just a great set of golden pipes right there, nailing those notes, really belting it out. But unfortunately, this concert's about to come to a close with a very rude interruption that just puts the brakes on this angelic performance.
I get to love you. I get to love you.
There's a bit of a subtle fall, so I'm gonna go ahead and rewind that on the Jumbotron in case you missed it.
I get to love you.
The dude felt like he got fucking blasted by a sniper in the background who 360 no-scope headshot him. That was an absolutely brutal tumble. No doubt the result of locking his knees. I've actually seen that happen quite a few times throughout my life. So there's a little PSA for all of you best men out there. Don't lock your knees or else you're gonna potato sack in front of everyone just like this man did. And that sound he made on impact sounded like an entire gym bag full of water balloons being slammed against a garbage can. It was a ridiculously loud one. To be honest, I completely understand why he fainted. He probably had just found out that I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/moistcritical, and he was blown away by how great the streams are.
We need a towel.
I couldn't decide if this was real or fake at first, but the way that man fucking kissed the concrete, I'd have to say this is real, or this man is the world's most committed actor to the skit. because that shit looked absolutely devastatingly painful, and he straight up pee-peed his britches. Now, don't get me wrong, I have no problem peeing my pants for the good of a scene, but I wouldn't be overly eager to fucking belly flop onto a wood deck like that. And the reason why I lean toward this being fake initially is because the camera work is so goddamn good. The cameraman really fucked this guy in particular, because this is like so professional looking, it looks like a skit. The lighting is focused on the fall, and there's multiple cameras showing the fall from a great angle, and then at the end it has him walking towards the camera with urine on his penis. Well, not on his penis, I didn't see his dick in this, but on his penis pants area. The camera work is nothing shy of professional, and I have no doubt this cameraman was working on the Avengers before doing this wedding video. Impressive stuff. And also, that girl can now brag to her friends that her singing was so good it knocked a man out. Like how opera singers brag about breaking glass with their voice. She can one-up them now. Fucking crazy. This is a real trooper right here, because he said, you know what, you guys might not be enjoying the singing? Fuck it, I'll take this fall for all of us here. This is for you, Cody, up there on the altar. Crazy shit. What a video, and let it be a lesson. Stop having your weddings outside. Now, again, I don't think the guy had anything serious happen, at least I hope not. It really looks like a textbook case of knees buckled for too long and then losing consciousness temporarily. You see it all the time at weddings because you're standing out there for a long time, not moving, and people forget to like wiggle their toes or bend their knees or anything like that. Then eventually shit like this happens, and it happens a lot at weddings, and the heat certainly wasn't helping. So again, let this be a lesson. Stop having your weddings outside, please. Now, I do feel bad for the guy because none of this is his fault, and I hope he's okay, and he shouldn't be embarrassed. Hopefully he's not embarrassed. I think everyone can recognize that this is just very unlucky, and hopefully he's just taking this whole thing on the chin, and I don't just mean the floor. Fucking nailed that one. I'm kind of proud of that one, honestly. But yeah, again, not his fault. Hopefully he's, alright and not embarrassed about the whole situation, because it's a fucking great video, honestly. That's it. See ya. Boy howdy, do I have a wacky story to share with you today. On today's episode of I Can't Believe It's Not Florida, we have the story of a man in New Jersey who crashed his car through a police station while listening to Welcome to the Jungle. So I'm guessing he had that song cranked to max volume and the adrenaline was pumping in his body. The song was reaching its crescendo. It's about to go into the chorus, and then this guy's eyes roll into the back of his skull. Welcome to the Jungle summons the spirit of Evel Knievel, takes the wheel, the demon of speed is there, puts the pedal to the metal, and just crashes into the police station, and then he, celebrates, kind of. It's an unbelievable clip here from the surveillance camera footage. He gets out of the car like a gymnast who just landed an impressive trick. He strikes a pose like he was expecting some kind of huge celebration, a massive round of applause as if it was a concert or something and he was performing. It's almost impressive just how much gusto he gets out of the car with. I don't know what he was expecting to happen next. Man thought he was in an audition for Expendables 5, I guess. He's a fucking action movie hero. I have to wonder what he thought would happen next. Maybe he expected them to let him off with a warning because it was so cool. The officers would come out there and just be like, brother, that was the most badass thing I've ever seen. Fist bump. God bless America. Now get out of here. This is your warning. But unsurprisingly, they didn't just slap him on the wrist and send him on his way. He is facing potentially life in prison, not only for this incident, but he actually did something very similar previous to this. This isn't his first rodeo with crashing a car into a building. So apparently he had crashed his gold Toyota SUV into a garage of a private residence to try and scare and harass the homeowner, which he is still facing charges for right now. So this fucking dangerous, unhinged goofball treats motor vehicles like they're missiles. He is just blasting these into any building. Nowhere is safe. You know that statistic that gets tossed around from time to time about how you're more likely to be killed in your chair in the living room than you are on a plane, in a plane crash? I'm starting to believe that now, because with this kind of person out there in the wild, You never know when a car is going to be just crashing through your walls like the Kool-Aid Man, like a fucking torpedo, and just hitting you in the living room out of nowhere. Like, that is just... It's incomprehensible. So he's built up quite an impressive resume here with a lot of charges to his name. So for the first incident, he's facing burglary, criminal mischief, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, and harassment. And now for this one, he's facing a terrorism charge, which carries a minimum sentence of 30 years and a maximum sentence of life, causing widespread injury or damage, aggravated assault, burglary, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, and criminal mischief. The punishment fits the crime here. It's not like these are exaggerated charges. He just blindly blasted his vehicle into this building. He had no idea if there was going to be people on the other side of it, which could have easily killed people. So yeah, all of these charges really fit the crime. He is not safe to be in society, especially not behind the wheel of a vehicle. Now, one other thing I find shocking about this footage is how calm the officers are in responding to this. They make it seem like it's just routine, as if cars are just crashing through their walls every hour of every day. It's like they just get out there and they're annoyed, like bothered. Oh, jeepers. Jiminy Christmas. Another one? Alright, come here, son. I can't believe you've done this. Oh, bother. Alright, book him. Now we're gonna have to clean up another wall. I just don't know how it's possible to be that calm in that situation. They just look exhausted. They look tired and annoyed. Whereas, like, that would be the most shocking jump scare imaginable. Jump scares don't scare me in horror movies or horror games or anything like that, but this would probably actually have me shit myself. 100% I would stain my britches. That is the most unexpected thing to happen. And it's not like that's immediately what you would expect the sound to be. Like, they were in the room over, so they would have just mainly heard it as opposed to see it right away. That must have sounded like a bomb going off. My first thought would be that we had just been hit by a drone strike or something. I wouldn't immediately think like a car came through here or something. Like that I would be in a panic. I would be inconsolable. I'd be shaking. Meanwhile, these two officers here walk out like they'd just been rudely interrupted from their nap. It's just wild to me. Also, something I didn't mention, I mentioned that he had previously crashed into another building, a private residence. Well, what I didn't mention is that first crash had happened only minutes prior to this one. So this guy was just on a rampage. He must have been looping Welcome to the Jungle here, and it was bringing the worst out of him. Now, they haven't disclosed what the motive could have possibly been for crashing into the police station, but here's where I come into the equation, because I'm about to crack this case wide open. This is what I think happened. This is my theory. I got the corkboard up with a bunch of red lines drawn to a bunch of different scenarios. So let's piece together what we know for sure. His first crash into the private residence was due to a disagreement with the owner, and it was meant to scare and harass them. I think right after he committed to that, he knew shit was not going to go well for him, so he wanted to go out with a bang. So then he drove a few minutes away to the police station and turned himself in the only way he knew how. With Welcome to the Jungle sending him off like a WWE walkout song and a giant fucking explosion here of crashing through the building. I think his motive was truly he had just ruined his life prior by crashing through the private residence, and he just decided to go all into the lunacy and then crash through the police station. That's what I think happened here, because there's no other potential explanation that I can think of, not even in the realm of science fiction. Like, I can't think of, maybe a possession or something, or like some kind of alien event or anything to try and explain away what could possibly have led to this. I really think it was him knowing that he had already committed a serious crime, and he just, I don't know, decided to go even harder for it and just call it quits by driving through the police station. Or another very likely explanation is he has severe mental illness and completely fucking snapped. That's also very possibly the case here. Who knows? I am excited to see when they finally reveal the motive, because he doesn't seem like a man who's going to be, tight-lipped. It doesn't seem like he's going to be hard to get the truth out of. He probably told them at the police station why he did it. They just haven't said to the public yet. He literally got out and celebrated like he just scored a fucking touchdown in an NFL game, right? This isn't a guy who's going to be super hard to get to the bottom of with his reasoning. He's probably an open book who will just tell them why he did it. But yeah, anyway, I just had to share this story and clip with all of you because, my goodness gracious, that is like something you would see as a fake headline in the background of a movie or a game or something. Just something that people would make up because it sounds ridiculous, but it actually happened. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. See Jack Owak coming back with the new energy drink called AI Energy. Is that real? Someone mentioned Jack Owak was coming back, but I didn't know it's called AI Energy. It's the new venture from Jack Owak, the original founder and creator of Bang, and it aligns itself with the relentless pace of artificial intelligence technology innovation. He really thought just slapping AI on it would get people to be like, oh, it must be something like new and interesting. Does it have the super creatine in it? That was the big thing that got Bang sued into oblivion, is Jack Owak and his stupid super creatine. Not a whole lot of info right now. But Jack Owak's behind it, you know there's gonna be titties. Where there is Jack, the milkers will be following. Yeah, it's the Bang Energy guy. I wonder if he made a YouTube video announcing it. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, this is Joshua. Does he not use his channel that much?
Hello?
The trailer for the AI Energy is called AI Energy, A New Era for Energy. Oh man, this looks really awesome.
You and I set the beverage industry ablaze, creating the multi-billion-dollar performance energy drink category.
Jack, the only thing you set ablaze was your company, brother. You got blasted. They butt-fucked you, brother. You and your stupid super creatine. It's crazy. This guy, he's like such a cartoon character.
Stoked to bring you AI Energy, my most brilliant and delicious innovation ever. A new experience for a new era. AI Energy.
That was hype. That was hype. I'm gonna have to get me a few cans of that now, clearly. Wow. I like how he keeps talking about, like, how important Bang was. The only reason Bang ever had any market share is because it catered to actual, like, horny teenagers, because all of the marketing was just putting Bang in between the butt cheeks of any model that Jack could get into the DMs of. They did nothing interesting. It was bottom of the barrel slop. And he had the gall to say that it had some made-up garbage in it called super creatine. There's no way he thinks this looks good, right? Oh, he does. He is delusional. Like, fully delusional. This man is high off his own supply. That super creatine has rotted his brain. Have you not... We've already been deep down the Jack Owak rabbit hole. But have you not, like, actually seen or heard from him? Like, this is a clip that put him on the radar for a lot of people. What was the name of the show? It was like Dress My Wife. Like, the dude's just unhinged. And the way he dresses like a GTA character. Does he still have his super creatine videos up? No. I think just Fillion has a few of them, and then here's me making fun of him. Damn, he took it down. But he wears like these crazy, like either pure gold suits with like these giant Bang chains, or he has like this really cool purple one too. Like, he's just a weirdo. Whoa. My breech home birth story, unmedicated labor and delivery vlog. Can nothing just be private anymore? And why is Jack Owak shirtless like he delivered the baby? Is this his knee right here? What is he doing? Is he squatting, or is that his pec? I can't even tell what I'm looking at. This man's anatomy confuses me. I think he's squatting like on a squatty potty type thing. What does his family content look like? I've got to know. Telling my husband we are pregnant with baby number 6. Emotional. Like, Jack doesn't have human emotions anymore. It's all AI generated in his DNA now.
And argue that in the comments below.
He's still wearing the Bang chain.
But Jordan, there is no Jordan.
This video's a year old. Bang was already blasted to the Shadow Realm by this point. Why is he still wearing it?
Ooh, big things come in small boxes, you know, especially on Valentine's Day.
What'd you get? What'd he get you?
Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
Is it an IPO for AI Energy?
Necklace. Oh, that's so cute. Oh,
Open it up, open it up. It's got a picture of Jat's nutsack in there.
so cute. Look at this.
The Vince McMahon of energy drinks. Oh, he is very Vince McMahon-esque, huh? That's a good comparison. Well, I'm gonna keep my eye on AI Energy. It might just sweep in and be the next big one. It's already off to a booming start with one article being written about it from Beverage Digest. And it's one sentence. People cannot wait for Jack Owok's return. How do I get it? Do I have to mint it on the blockchain or something? It doesn't have its own website or anything. You and I set the beverage industry ablaze, creating... Yeah, this is what you said in the video, too. This looks like one of those fake Flash games, like the Meet and Fuck Kingdom. But you just meet and have sex with Jack Owok, I guess.
Please spread the word, my friends. My wife and I appreciate all of your overwhelming love and support. Together, you and I revolutionize the consumer products industry with literally billions of followers through our vast 1,000 plus creator and influencer social media army. We love our influencers and creators. Our novel products, marketing, distribution, and manufacturing innovations resulted in Bang Energy eclipsing its first $1 billion in sales faster or as fast as Tesla. Sorry, my man Elon. Bang beat you by 4 years. Nike beat Nike.
I like how even on his AI Energy drink site, he's still just talking about Bang. Overtly corrupt South Florida bankruptcy community. He's talking about, I'm innocent. I did nothing wrong. Oh, also, get AI Energy. Why is he making AI videos of himself? He could just say it. Because it's AI Energy and he's showing the power of AI.
In concert to improve motivation and mood. These components also increase critical neurotransmitters, including dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and acetylcholine. These neurotransmitters play key roles.
Why does he look like a baby? Looks like a baby man here.
And memory and improved brain and body.
De-aged him too far.
Way beyond caffeine alone. Thank you for your support.
I'd love to see what a real can of this looks like, but I don't think it actually exists. Is this it, or is this AI? Oh, here we go. My prayers have been answered. It's right around the corner. I feel like smoking would be healthier than drinking this.
Feel-good sensation will excite beyond your wildest imagination.
He's just saying actually nothing. Nothing he has said right now means anything. Oh, they become experts in artificial intelligence. By that, Jack means they generated a few Shrek memes using Midjourney. Because artificial intelligence is increasing at such a geometric and exponential rate, human intelligence will likely never keep up. However, I do believe AI Energy combined with other factors like practicing an instrument or sport or engaging in other repeated critical thinking activities has the potential to increase brain power and human intelligence, both acutely and over time. He has the gall to say that drinking AI Energy is going to help increase brain power and human intelligence to compete with AI. Why are you even calling it AI in the first place, Jack? This has nothing to do with AI. AI doesn't even look good. Isn't this guy a billionaire? Well, yeah, but he's generating these himself. He is literally making these himself. It's written by AI. Probably. I have 30 years statements in the article have not been evaluated by the FDA. Consult a healthcare provider. Yeah, this is just normal disclaimer stuff. That's pretty cool, Jack. Pretty fucking cool. Order it. I was thinking about it, but I don't even know if it'd be fun as a joke. I feel like it's just gonna be dangerous. This is Jack Owok Unchained. No supervision. This man would sneak nicotine and fucking fent into these. I don't know. I don't think it's worth. I'll wait to see if people survive the first wave. They're not going to stores. Since he's not selling them in stores, there's not going to be any real oversight. He's just selling them online. It'll be like pink sauce. It'll be like pink sauce in a can. There's 2 questions I get asked more than any others. Why am I short, and why do I live in Tampa? And my answer to both of these questions is the same. Because I like it. I like being short. Feels good. Now, obviously, I'm just kidding. I'm not fooling anyone with that response, but what am I going to do about it? Not exactly something I can change, like a bad hairstyle. It's not like the result of being lazy. It's not like going to the gym more often is somehow going to magically make me taller. This is just the way the Lord 3D printed me, and I'm powerless against it, unless I want to break both of my legs and then take years of physical therapy to learn to walk again and all that, which I'm not going to do, so that's the reason I'm short. Can't help it. But my answer was honest to the second question. I live in Tampa because I like it. I know a lot of people outside of Florida view Florida as like some kind of freak show circus PvP enabled zone because of all the Florida Man stories. So people look at this place as if it's some different planet with an entirely different species of people that live here. But I was born and raised in this swamp. 29 years down here, I got that Florida Man gene embedded deep in my DNA. And boy howdy, I tell ya, I don't see myself moving anywhere outside of Florida. I think even when Florida ends up entirely underwater, it'll be like the new Atlantis. The Florida people will persevere. We'll grow little gills, and we'll have our own new society underwater. And we'll still probably have Publix too. I got a little lost in the sauce here. The whole reason I'm even talking about Tampa to begin with is because of a local news story I read today, coming from my neck of the woods. And it's some pretty deplorable shit here. So I wanted to share this because it made me ashamed of my fellow Tampa enjoyers.
You are watching what cops say is a terrible crime committed by a brilliant chemist. First, he's seen filling a syringe with some sort of substance. Then he places the syringe under an apartment door.
Now, he's no Walter White or anything, but this guy is apparently a very gifted chemistry student. He was enrolled at the USF PhD program and, according to all the reports, was very gifted. And what did he do with those gifts? Well, he delivered them like Krampus to a family's doorstep and brought a lot of problems for them. So he was injecting these chemicals under their doorstep for months, and it caused the family and their newborn baby to get pretty ill.
Umar Abdullah and his wife had just had a baby. Almost immediately, they say, their downstairs neighbor, then a PhD student in chemistry, began complaining about noise.
Imagine being such a miserable piece of shit that a baby crying makes you so upset that you decide to try and assassinate the whole family because the noise is too much. Like, that's bafflingly evil. I understand that a baby crying or being noisy can be a bit annoying, but I just don't know how it can make somebody snap like this. I had an apartment in downtown Tampa, and you can only imagine the things I was hearing there. Between some occasional gunshots as well as some wackier noises. Like a long time ago, I even posted a video about how there was a whole group of frogs that used to fuck right outside of my window of where I slept. And it made it very hard to sleep because they were being real rowdy. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't go out there, take a bazooka and blow up the frogs. You know, I didn't go out there with a sledgehammer and tear up the orgy by killing all the frogs or anything. I politely knocked on the window occasionally, trying to, scare them away, like take this business elsewhere. I also more than once would open up the door out back of my apartment in order to rustle the bush that they were treating like a frat house to get them away. But the thing is, it never elicits such an extreme response. I get noisy neighbors are frustrating. Like neighbors above you that are just slamming around, like throwing bowling balls back and forth, just causing a ruckus at all types of odd hours. It's a headache. But this is not the same situation in the first place. It's a baby. It's a newborn baby. Obviously, it's going to cry from time to time. That's how babies work. That's just how it is. Like I just can't imagine the lunacy here to do something like this, which is basically attempted murder fundamentally, I would say. It's just fucking crazy.
That's him skulking outside the apartment in Tampa.
After my daughter was born, right after we came back from hospital, he started complaining.
Then the family began smelling chemicals pervading the apartment. Everyone, including the baby, started getting sick.
Psychopath energy just rolls up so casually, like this is just routine. Another walk in the park. No, business as usual. gets the syringe out, and then just blasts it under the door. I'm also a little surprised nobody else saw him do this. I guess I don't know how many residents there are in the area, but like he walks around with the vial and syringe out, and no one really stopped to question that around the premises, that is. Or I guess maybe it's possible since we only see him at the top of the stairs, he brought it out right before the camera catches him. But yeah, just very nonchalant about what is basically attempted murder.
Became overwhelming, and that's when the new dad decided to install a hidden camera. At first, the surveillance video caught just a glimpse of the suspect. The next day, when the camera was repositioned, this happened, and the terrifying truth came out. Initial toxicology reports from police say the substance being pumped into their apartment consists of 2 strong opioids, methadone and hydrocodone.
Now, to further explain, the family was aware of the chemical odor that was permeating through their residence, and they tried everything to get rid of it. They checked all the pipes, everything. Eventually, the landlord even replaced their water heater, thinking that that could have been a culprit, maybe something gone awry, malfunctioning in the water heater, leading to that smell. But the smell never went away, and they kept getting sick. The husband noted vomiting. It was just not a good set of circumstances. And that smell that smelled smelly just kept coming back. So eventually, the husband got a hidden camera that he could set up outside in a plant, just in case it could help lead to some kind of clues on where this smell was coming from. And that's when they learned who the villain was behind the smell. It was their neighbor that is still seemingly upset that a baby cries. Nobody tell him that he was also once a cringe baby that was making crying noises too, because he'd lose his goddamn mind on it, I guess. He's still upset about it, so then he turned to biological warfare.
The suspect is identified as Shu-Ming Lee, who got his PhD in chemistry at the University of South Florida.
Abdullah says he got his family out of the house and then immediately called police. Lee was arrested and charged with multiple counts, including possession of a controlled substance and aggravated stalking.
This is a situation that, had this not been ultimately caught, could have resulted in someone dying.
It's scary to think that something as simple as your newborn baby crying was almost a death sentence for this family, or their child at the very least, because it's a newborn. It's not exactly the best things to be inhaling, hydrocodone and methadone. Now, I'm not exactly the most familiar with these substances, as shocking as that is to hear, but it certainly sounds pretty dangerous to me. So I'm happy the family got to the bottom of it. Hopefully there's no lasting side effects from this whole ordeal on them. Hopefully everything's just smooth sailing from here. And yeah, this is just upsetting for all of Tampa. This isn't what we're about down here. Tampa is a place known for many great things, like bath salts and good neighbors. And this guy was not a good neighbor. So yeah, I just wanted to go over this a little bit just because I saw it. It's in Tampa. It's super weird. Anytime there's a Tampa-related crime, it feels personal for me as a resident of Tampa. It feels like, how could you? We're better than this, damn it. You're giving Tampa a bad name. Like, I just feel disappointed. Like, just genuinely disappointed. Atheists are video game addicts. I will tell you right now, I love that title.
Put out a 2-hour documentary. You know what all these atheists have in common? Video games.
Fuck them. What? They're gamers?
Video games. And Harry Potter, you get on their channel, they're in fantasy land. That's all they ever do.
Oh, it's going too far. Harry Potter?
They can't think for themselves.
And games?
They say, oh, you're crazy, Brother Powell, for believing in a creator. Oh, you're insane. No, you're crazy. And you need to get off the video game system, and somebody needs to preach to them the gospel of Jesus Christ, and so that they can be saved. That's what we need.
Amen.
And I'm sick and tired of these stinking video games.
Yeah, fuck those things.
Listen with people.
And that god and creator is Ninja. Oh my god, wait, this is the same channel that posted the God Hates Video Games? Wait a minute, how many video game lectures are there? Skillet exposed. Skillet? The Christian band that made popular hits such as Rebirth, Savior, Monster, and all the other shit you would hear in a Call of Duty montage back in 2009? They are demon-possessed people?
And worldly music is the song of fools.
Oh,
the song
shit,
of people
I knew
that
it.
don't believe on the Lord. Why do you
Music is the devil.
Wicked, whoremonger,
Okay.
They're demon-possessed people.
Lead singer John Cooper joins us now by Skype.
Hey,
to talk
John,
about their new
you
album,
demon.
their faith, and the ministry opportunities.
What do you have to say
God
for
has given
yourself?
them. Well, what do you want?
Every day, more and more artists or
Here we
bands
go.
in the Christian industry, this is an article I'm reading,
He's
speak
not
about
in a bathroom.
Touring.
Oh, wow, he is in a bathroom. Wait, that's kind of nutty. It just shows how little respect he had for cbnnews.com, I guess. Ah, right, I have an interview. I'm just going to go to the shitter at the restaurant here.
In an interview with STL today, frontman of the band Skillet, John Cooper, went into greater detail about why he and his band prefer to avoid using the word Christian.
Oh, you blasphemer.
So this is how lame
John,
it is. Listen to this.
How could you?
I just tell people
You spit in the face of the Lord.
Band. I leave Christian out, he told STL today. A lot of people don't know what Christian rock is. Yeah, they do. That's a lie. Or
no,
what do you mean? For Christian people. We're not a band that only sings to Christian people. Well, then you're not. That's not Christian.
Yeah, atheists go to hell.
Atheist?
Yeah.
Your message isn't Christian.
You should be killing them in the
Put all
streets
the
or
Jesus words
something.
in there you want, but it's not Christian. I think it was last night. Sherry's like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, garbage, and I turned it off. But the song was totally
Yeah, I'd rather listen to the same fucking 3 songs at church on repeat.
I'm glad it's not like stuck in my head.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I mean, my faith in Jesus is everything. You're going.
He seems like a nice guy, which is why he's a demon.
It says in hymns and spiritual songs, singing with melody in your heart to the Lord, singing with grace in your heart to the Lord. But verse
This guy
17
can't
says,
sing for shit, I promise you that.
The spirit and the spirit against
Probably
the
sounds
flesh.
like diarrhea
And these are
being pushed through a
contrary
trombone. Why women should not say amen in church. What? What is that?
Spirit. But the Bible says in 1 Timothy 2:11, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Let your
Basically
women
hockey
keep
fan.
silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak. But they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law.
This is in the Bible?
And if they will learn anything, let them ask their
What?
husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. Now, it says
Holy
in 1
shit.
Timothy 2:11, let the woman learn in
This is in the
silence
Bible and not
with
like
all subjection.
on
So
Facebook?
therefore, obviously, when it's learning time, it's silence time. See what I mean? So what it's saying is that they are to learn.
I love the
in
guys
silence.
in the front row.
It's silence time.
I'm trying to learn about God. She's not welcome in here. It's a boys' club. Boys and shit. We like that. Not you. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to learn about the Bible. Am I right, Brother Sean?
It says when the learning is going on, they are not permitted to speak. When the learning
No,
is
that's
happening,
reasonable.
they're to be inside.
No,
When
okay,
the
yeah,
preaching
okay.
of God's word is taking place, first of all, it's not for a woman to be doing the preaching. And second of all, it's not for women to be speaking. Even the Bible's really clear. Even if they were to have a question,
All right, now I see.
they're not to ask that question in the church.
No, of course not. Why would
Number
they?
two, even if they want to
I guess
ask
God
that
doesn't
question
like
to their
women.
husband,
It's shocking to me that I don't see a wedding ring on his finger. This dude is a catch. Are you kidding me? You're telling me this pussy-slaying machine is single? Oh, what in tarnation? Well, what kind of world do we live in? Where a good old red-blooded, God-fearing patriot can't have a wife? You know, he probably just chooses not to.
and of course the heart is in the right place. Now I was preaching one time, and a woman actually disagreed with me.
Oh,
in
that
the middle of my
bitch.
preaching. You know, I
What?
said something and she said I was wrong.
What was she thinking?
You know, and I kind of blew up a little bit. But anyway.
Rightfully so.
But, you know,
questioning you?
There could be times when
as a
woman's
woman?
disagreeing. And you know what?
Did you guys
The
hear
heart's
that?
in the right place, of course. But
The audacity.
in reality, if we're going to be true to Scripture, then basically we would say, okay, when it's time for learning, that's a time for women to keep silence. That's a time
Jesus
to learn.
Christ. Oh my God. What fucking lunacy. Holy shit.